Good evening, everybody. I hope you're doing okay. Yes, we are now officially started. It is 6:02 in the PM on February 27th, um, and that would be Eastern Standard Time. Are we in daylight savings time? No, Eastern Standard Time, I think. Wait, I can't remember. Anyway, GMT plus 5. So, we're talking about the midterm tonight. And I also wanted to check in and see how all the other classes are going. I know that a couple of you have contacted me. We've met via Zoom. Um, Email questions were coming in. A couple people even asked some uh, kind of institutional type questions. Who do I go to speak to? About this. Who do I go to speak about that? Excuse me. All of that is great. So if you have those questions again, feel free to ask those questions. I've been at the college for a while. I can answer those. And if I don't have an answer, I will find that answer for you. So I just wanted to take a moment to check in to see how your other classes are going. I know that midterms should be possibly in full swing with spring break coming up at the end of the week. Um, so just wanted to check in, see if there were any questions, concerns, issues, this class related or others. I will be talking about the midterm, so any midterm questions, submission questions, all that other stuff. But um, while people kind of filter in, I just wanted to take a few moments um, to find out if there were any questions, any concerns. Okay, yes. So again, midterm and final and participation in the online community. Those are your three portions of the grade. That's actually something I wanted to talk about tonight. I know that quite a few people have been going into the YouTube channel and exploring some of the videos, and that's what I want you to do. There are videos up there right now. Um, I sent one to you via email that addresses your midterm topic. It's actually a former student of mine and an HFC alum who is who answered the questions, went through the whole Turing test. And then there are also other videos, and I'll be sending one of those to you later in an email, explaining introduction to the humanities. What is the humanities? How does it differ from divinity? How does it differ from biology? How does it differ from law? All these other different fields. So I want you to be exploring those areas as well. This is all part of the kind of learning experience. After the midterm is submitted, we're going to be transitioning to kind of applying our observation to the world around us and to the humans around us. Okay, and people are saying, how do I get full participation? Attending these, commenting, discussing with your classmates, but also going into the videos, going into the comment sections of the older videos or even the videos that are posted. There'll be people, for instance, right now that are not attending right at this moment, but will attend tomorrow. And they might post a question. If you come back a day or two later, check the questions out, respond to a question or two. That's the way that you get full participation. Engage in the community that we're trying to build here. Okay. Um, People ask about, again, how do I use AI for the midterm? How couldn't you use AI for the midterm? Um, I would say one, the questions you couldn't use it, but to create a video based on your answers, to create images based upon your answers, all of that could be ways in which you use AI. You could utilize AI voices to read your answers for you if you typed them out. But again, this is and people have run. Sometimes when I have this class in person, we will get onto AI, or at least the last couple of years, we've gotten onto the AI chat bots and tried to ask questions that they won't answer, right? Ask questions that they can't answer. They're getting better, but this is what part of this assignment is about. Is this Turing test, and are these questions are they beatable by AI? Okay. Um, so again, these are all posted on humanities101.org in the assignments section. Okay, so if you go to the class section and you go to the different links in the assignments section, you will find a discussion or description of participation, a description of the midterm, and a beginning description of the final exam. Okay, or the final project. I haven't posted that yet because I want you focused on the midterm. The midterm is due March 15th. You can start submitting the midterm this Friday. The form, if you go to the submission form right now, it's not this semester's submission form. It's not supposed to be this semester's submission form yet. All right. Um, I don't want people just rushing through these assignments. I want them thinking about it and taking their time. And so this is why I'm giving you that time and setting that kind of deadline and that, I guess, beginning submission time. And then the 2 weeks later, you have to post it by. Um, okay, so again, let's see, midterm questions. If you go to the assignments section, you will find the midterm questions posted, the 6 questions that are there. People have asked, can I make it one video? Can I make it multiple videos? The answer to both of those is yes. Some people have divided it up amongst questions they feel safe about answering in public, and others they don't. Right? Some people have posted all of them in one video. Some people have posted a single video for each question, right? Kind of doing a shorter, makes the file easier to manage, this kind of stuff. Again, there are multiple ways you could submit that. If you check your email, I've already sent those to you. How to, create a private uh, uh, YouTube video, how to create a Gmail file, all of that stuff. I've already sent those emails to you. You can just record yourself answering the questions. You can interview yourself. You can do a cutaway if you want. Again, you can be as creative as you want, but if you just want to plop in front of a camera and answer the questions, that will work as well. Um, okay, so any other questions? And again, I have answered the question about showing your face so many times that your classmates should be able to answer that question for you. It's in the syllabus. It's in the course description. You do not. You do not. Okay. Yes, I sent you sample videos, and I've explained that on the website, there's an example video of the midterm already posted. It's an interview. Okay. And yeah, and Hussein asked a wonderful question. Can we do a Q&A with classmates? Yes. You can sit down with a classmate and you can interview them, they can interview you, and you can record it, and each of you submit it, right, so that I've got a submission from each of you, but it'd be the same video. That's fine. That happens a lot too, where we have students that know each other, they get together and they will kind of have a discussion and answer these questions and record it, and kind of a little podcast, if you will, where they answer the questions and then they submit that as their project. Again, the more creative the better. If you go to humanities101.org again, in the classroom section, there's a submissions page. On March 1st, you will have access to the form where you can put your name, your class, all of that information, and you will give me a link. That link will be the link to your video, either in a Google Drive or on YouTube. It can be private, it can be public. However you choose to protect that, you only have to share it with me. That is it. And I will share it with no one. Other questions about the midterm? And I see questions rolling that have been answered. And so again, I'm just going to try to answer the new questions that pop up. So if you're like, hey, I keep asking how long the video should be and no one's answering it, your classmates are answering it. So check the chat. Listen to them. I trust them. I trust you. And yes, uh, oh, somebody asked if there's a way that I can meet you on Zoom and I can do the interview with you. I don't know if I have time between now and March 15th. I would highly recommend, finding someone in your life who you might be able to do that with. And again, it doesn't have to be a classmate. You could sit down with a family member, have them interview you. This is a perfect opportunity that if you want to make a bridge with someone, you say, "Hey, I got a school project I need some help with. Mom, cousin, uncle, coworker who I think is really cool and I'd like to be better friends with." Whatever. I mean, you name it. But you could utilize this as a bridge. Um, Maybe even in the biology class, with the interesting other human that might make a good spouse one day. I don't know, right? Use it as an opportunity to get creative and answer the questions the way that you want to answer the questions. So I have some students that will get to a couple of the questions and they'll be tongue in cheek about them. They'll be comedic about their answers, and that's fine too. Again, the point is proving you're human, and I think comedy is part of that. So let's see other questions that are coming on. You don't particularly get a higher grade if you post it to social media. There's no particular benefit with the midterm. When we get to the final, I'm going to not incentivize making it public, but I am going to, I do want those kind of messages to get out there. So I'm going to um, I guess maybe somewhat incentivize if people want to, but I'm not going to penalize at all ever if people don't want to make anything public, right? Because this is your information, this is your knowledge, this is your intellectual property, and that's one of the reasons why I do the submission page the way that I do it. It's one of the reasons why I host these here, the lectures here, and everything in the way that I do things. There's method to the madness. It may seem confusing to you, but again, I'm trying to protect what you have now. And literally before we got on here, I was behind the scenes and scrolling through and looking at old websites with information that I wrote one time long ago, 20 years ago, and so that still exists and has me, kind of enshrined on the internet in different positions, like at Wayne State and other schools, um, but also some intellectual work that I did for professors that they published under their name. So it's always fun to kind of stumble upon that and go, "Oh, I wrote that and got no credit for it." So I'm trying to build that in so that you don't have that experience in the future. Uh, No, yeah, edit the videos up. Some people like to get all crazy with editing, and that's fine too. I've had people even put Michael Bay type explosions in these things. Okay, so you can as you're not going to be judged on your filmmaking ability, but entertainment is entertainment, and I'll enjoy it. So, other questions that are coming up. Yes, people have asked about voice changers. I've even suggested, utilizing the apps and programs that will read for you in a different voice. Um, but I even have what voice changers. So yeah, you can use a voice changer if you want to, um, but it's not required. So let's see. Other questions. Other questions. Mm, 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 mm. No, no, you do not have to make eye contact with the video. Um, I don't even know how that works. I mean, I guess I do. I guess this has a little light that I can look at. So But this is the only device I have that actually has a "Hey, look at me" light. So, but no, you do not have to do it. The final will be similar to the midterm, except in the final, you're going to be we're gonna be reading a course text, um, and then you're going to be utilizing the information that we garner from that course text in our discussions, to kind of invent, um, something, either an idea or, but yeah, it's gonna be an applied project, so it's kind of I'm excited about this one. So that's why I'm kind of keeping it somewhat under wraps. Now, again, you can go to the website and it gives you a little hint and talks about what it's going to be, but I'm going to wait until the Ides of March to release it, so that way we can begin. Now, if you want to get a jump, people have already asked this because they've said, "Hey, I can do this midterm with my eyes closed. What else should I be doing?" And that's why I say go to the course text and start reading academic ableism. There is the PDF text, which you can download, and there's also the audio text that you can download. So you can listen to it, you can read along, you can read along while you're listening. All of those are viable ways, but start getting your mind around that now, because when we meet again, on, I think it's what, the 12th of March, I will be answering questions about the midterm, but I will be transitioning towards the next half of the semester. And I'll be introducing our new topic. I'll be introducing the final, and kind of getting us going. And so, if you want to get a jump on that and you don't want to be doing a lot of reading in April, you can do that reading now. And Selena, that is the question, right? What do you mean by describe yourself using only colors and shapes? That's the whole point. There are examples. You can go, again, on this YouTube channel, but if you look at the Turing test online, there are people who talk about this. This is all over, where, there's even movies that are based upon the premise of using a Turing test on robots or AI to see if they know that they're not human. Um a wonderfully creepy film called Ex Machina that I'm thinking of, but even some of the 1960s and 70s sci-fi. Grade midterm. Usually it is kind of I always say I use an ACE grading system, so an ACE grading system. So, if you bare minimum just turn in, answer the questions, I get it in, um, the, the- you know, right over the goal line, you'll get a C. You don't do anything, obviously, I'm not going to give you a grade. But if you answer the questions thoroughly, diligently, take some, uh, 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 trying to think of the word. Um, I guess you step out a little bit to try something maybe creative or interesting in your own mind. All right. Again, then you're going to be rewarded for that with an A. So I kind of look at it as, do it, you'll pass. Do it well, you'll get an A. Don't do it. Well, obviously, I can't grade something you don't turn in. So I always think ACE. So I'm not trying to fail you. I'm not trying to trick you. I am I am trying to learn about how you would answer these questions. And I find these answers, especially the colors and shape one, fascinating. Fatima has a wonderful answer online, on this channel. You can go and look at her answers to the Turing test. Um, but yeah, I, I really can't answer how I want you to answer that because then that defeats the purpose of the test. So I'll say yes. Any other questions or any other concerns? Now, again, you have in your other classes, you have your midterms coming up and you have spring break. Now, I will tell you that your instructors will not be around on spring break. They will not be answering emails. So if you send an email Friday afternoon before spring break, do not expect a response until Monday afternoon after spring break. So again, now I'm not saying that I'm not going to be around to answer emails and whatnot, but I just want to let you know, don't expect answers during spring break because people take that as a vacation, as you should too. You should definitely take that break. There's a reason that there's a break in the middle of spring semester and not a break in the middle of fall semester. There's a reason. I mean, it goes back hundreds and hundreds of years, but it's biological, it's social, it's cultural, it's all of those things. But we all need a week in spring or sometime to breathe a little bit and regroup so that you can get ready for the year as life goes, planting, sowing, harvesting, then winter. Break starts Friday, I think. Yeah. So if you have a class on Saturday, but officially it's the 4th of March through the 8th of March. So, um, Kasem, I mean both of those, either or. Creative in editing, computer skills, or creative in how you answer. Yeah. Again, either or, both and. But yes, when I say creative, I simply mean that in the most literal of senses. I mean, just however you choose to answer that, and stay kind of true to your answers and the way that you want to address the project, which is why I give you the freedom of the privacy and even the anonymity, right? Because even though I know it's you and I know you're turning in this video, right? If you don't want to show your face, you don't want to use your voice so that you can go ham if you want to, then go ahead. Go ahead. Like, you've got that freedom. This is a humanities class. This is where you should experiment and try those hats on. Okay, so other questions, other concerns. Oop, sorry. Kick my desk. And again, yeah, I'm not going to stop watching at 3 minutes. I know people want a time frame, so I give you a kind of estimate. But I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, so you can't get me to stop watching. Now, don't take that as a challenge, Andy Warhols. But I had to in film class once sit through like 12 hours of a building. And that was before DVDs. You could fast forward and still watch it. I just left it on in the background. Nothing happened, but that was one of my projects in film class was to watch one of Warhol's films, which was a building. Yeah. Yeah, Hussein, that's a good one. Unlimited creativity. I like that. Yes. So other questions, other concerns, other issues? Because I want to be cognizant of your time and I appreciate people who've been able to pop in. Again, if you're watching this after the live stream, you can also email questions. You can also post questions in the chat here. If you need to, people have asked about meeting via Zoom, things like that. That's always a possibility. Again, I will be in and out this week because I've got some presentations and some things going on. And next week being spring break, it's going to be dicey, right? But I'm after a long time of teaching, I make sure I take my spring breaks now. I didn't always, but now I do. Again, I want you to take care of yourself, and so I want you to make sure that you have that time. So if you do have those questions, make sure that you get them in. All right. Any other concerns, issues? Going once, going twice. All right. So I appreciate everybody. If you have issues, again, send an email, drop a line. Okay. All right. So have a good night and have a good spring break. If you do travel anywhere for spring break, be safe. If you go somewhere spring breaky for spring break, take a lawyer's number. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Have a good spring break, and we'll see you soon.